All right, hello. We are getting ready to grill some pork tenderloin, and in the midst, I thought I'd show you how I start my grill. And I started using an electric charcoal grill starter. There also are starters which you use with a lighter and a flame. I'll get into that later. This grill today is going to be pretty straightforward. Pretty simple. I want to try to make things easy for everybody, and ultimately it's about having... Alright, you'll notice with the electric starter things get going pretty quick. Just don't forget the electric starter and know that it doesn't take too long to get things going. Alright, we are at a clean burn, which means the grill is over 500-degree temp. That means you've got the coals hot enough to where we can cook. And in this point, you want to always burp the grill. Don't come up too high. You can see it's a good flame. You don't want to singe yourself. Ultimately, in this end, what we're going to do today with these tenderloins is we're going to do what's called a reverse sear. And I'm going to pull the grate off, and I'm going to put our plate setter in here. And you can do it either way. You can do it where it's a straight grill, or today we're going to bring the grill temp back down, and you've got your 100, 200, 300, 400, 500 on up degree temperature. From here, we're going to do this at about 300 degrees. I'm going to set that about 1 inch, and then right here on the top, the damper, this is kind of your fine tune, and we're going to basically leave this open, and we should be able to get close to about 325 degrees right there. So we're going to come back after the grill sets a little bit and get this to 325, and then we'll put our meat back on. All right, we're now getting close to temp. I'm using a green egg dual temperature probe, one that allows me to measure the temperature of the grill and also the temperature of the meat once we get the meat on the grill, with the transmitter that I can use inside. Works really well. You'll notice that the grill right now is at 318 degrees. Protein obviously is at 48, but we're not obviously measuring it right now. In the end, I'm gonna pull the grate off, and we are gonna put some hickory chips on there. Right on the fire, throw some hickory chips. You'll notice the smoke start to come up. That's the good stuff. And then we will put our tenderloins on. This is a reverse sear. The reason why it's a reverse sear is we're doing a lower temp, and we're going to let the tenderloins cook and get to an internal temp of 145 degrees, and then ultimately in the end we'll put some grill marks on it, getting the grill up to a higher temp. I'm going to put the meat probe in the center of the tenderloin, cover the grill, and then we will come back. And right now you'll notice that the temp of the grill obviously dropped, but it'll come back up. The protein will come back up as well. Okay, we are at temp right now. We are at 145 degrees. If you want, you could ultimately take these off, take the plate setter off, which is underneath, and then get the temp up to a higher temp and put a sear on these. But ultimately I don't do that because I think the way they are, they end up being so good, there's no reason to do that. So, but what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to shut the grill down. I'm going to shut it down here, and then I'm going to pull the temp sensor off, and then we will pull these two tenderloins off that are going to be ultimately just amazing. And there's a few things that you can do with the tenderloins. But one of the things that you want to do also with your dampers, you want to clean it. So when the grill is hot, why not take advantage of it and put your damper in there and make sure you're cleaning the thing off. So, but in the end, we are going to okay, so now that we've got the pork tenderloin off of the grill, in this particular case we've got a marinade, which is fine. I'm going to take one of these and actually kick it up a little bit using a little Byron's butt rub, and I'm just going to put a little seasoning on there. But one of the things that happens with your tenderloin is if you wrap it up with tin foil after you're done grilling it, and that's why sometimes I might have you pull it off the grill before it comes to temp, just before it is right at temp, is because it will continue to cook within the tin foil itself. In this case, I'm not going to take and do anything with that one. I'm just going to wrap it up because that one has the spice to it. This one just has a teriyaki with 7-Up. And then in the end, we're going to take both of these and then wrap them up and store them until they're ready to eat. But the nice thing about this is that when you can have the protein to rest, and this is kind of the same thing with any of the grilling pieces that you do, you're going to find that letting them rest will make a huge difference in the quality of food that you produce. So anyway, okay, so this is the finished product, and one of the things you'll find at 145 degrees is with the pork tenderloin, you will see just a little bit of pink, and that's normal and that's okay. If you are someone that does not like that, you will ultimately grill your pork tenderloin to 160 degrees, and that will make it so it's completely white. But what you'll find is if you cook it to this temp, it's somewhat like cooking steak at a medium to medium rare temp, and it ultimately turns out really good. Now, one of the things that you can do with this is you can cook these medallions like I'm doing right now, and you can actually make them and serve them for breakfast. And if you want to make them special, take some bacon fat. If you serve or keep bacon fat from making bacon, you can ultimately just heat up that bacon fat or butter or whatever it is, take these little medallions and sear them in bacon fat, and I can tell you the people that end up eating them really love it. Otherwise, take these and use them, eat them for dinner, and you will end up just loving them.